Frank.
President Kalaba, good morning and welcome.
Your Excellency, good morning.
Thank you. Tuesday, you're expelled. Wednesday, you're reinstated. Just unfold, what is going on. What is the genesis of all this?
Your Excellency, first of all, I want to put records straight.
Yeah.
That, I have never been expelled as leader of the party. There is always a procedure that is to be followed when you want to expel a leader of any organization. Even here, at Capital FM where we are, the lady introducing you will not just wake up because she's your deputy and say, no, I'm expelling Mr. Mutubila because he did this and that. I think there are laid down procedures that first of all have to be followed. And that was never the case with Harry Kalaba's expulsion. And that is why you saw the swift movement of the highest body of the party coming in to bring sanity and said, please, I think we are now joking. These are jokes. This party is too big to be operating in such a fashion. And so the Democratic National Committee yesterday met and passed their own verdict by suspending the trio and giving them an opportunity to exculpate themselves at an opportune time.
President Kalaba, these are senior people, including your running mate. Does this question your judgment to pick such a person who doesn't even understand the procedures? I mean, a person who can tell the world that being a running mate, serving under you, is like being in an abused marriage? Really?
Yeah, I think...
These are strong words.
Yeah, those are very strong words, and it is sad. I want to tell you that it is really sad that my colleagues would have gone to those lengths. Where I come from in Mansa, we say at fear. There are certain things that you should never do in life. Certain things that you should never say. If you have had an opportunity to share a relationship with a person, I must indicate that both Justin Nkonge and Judith Kabemba were brought by me. I mean, I organized when I was organizing the party. I mean, I'm the one who brought them to the fore. And so when I hear people say, no, we just invited him, and since we invited him, now we can kick him out of the party, I get dismayed. And I say, something is not correct here. But that as it may be, I will play the role of a bigger brother in all this, because I understand myself the ramifications of everything that they are doing. It is sad that they have done that. I think, especially Honorable Nkonge, Justin Nkonge, because Justin Nkonge, I took him as my own brother. And something terrible must have happened for him to take that sharp turn. And so it is just sad that you see a fellow like that just ruin his life ahead, especially about your career ahead, just in such a fashion. It's very sad.
Bemba Sage Pempla Kulia. Does this tell you that you have to be cautious of some of the leaders you be dealing with in future? What lessons have you learned from this?
First of all, I'm happy that Bemba had it. It is true, the only one who will harm you is that one who is close to you. That's just how life is, and no matter how you try, you cannot be very careful, because the heart of a human being is in the hands, in the domain of God. So you can't know what they are planning and what they are thinking until it eventually comes out. But somebody told me that character is like a pregnancy. It will eventually show your true colors. Truth be told, yes, we have to be very careful going in future. But I think I missed that script. I hope Honorable Nkonge, Justin Nkonge should have given me that edition of that book, I mean, How to Betray Without Knowing that you're betraying anybody. I didn't read that book. I didn't see it coming. So it came as a surprise to me that party issues must be resolved within the party. And I would have appreciated if he had told me in my face, or if he had even written me a letter explaining that I'm taking down, I'm stopping this so that you continue with DPO. I intend to do this because, but not just to act in such a fashion. There must be something there's something that I'm not picking.
Yeah.
You know, which is not very clear to me. There's just something I'm not picking, and eventually time will make me pick it.
People are saying, apart from the New Heritage Party, DP is one of the rising, stars. Could it be there's a shadow hand somewhere trying to destabilize, DP?
Without, we have information that there are issues that are playing behind the curtains, and that as it may be, we know what's going on, and since we know what is going on, we'll take it as politics. And but I can tell you that the DP is not shaken, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Democratic National Committee who had to travel from, some even traveled from Northwestern the whole night, some Copperbelt, some came from Luapula, others came from Muchinga. Members of the DNC had to travel to come and save their own political party. And yesterday I told them myself, I said, you know what? I was Foreign Affairs Minister, and somebody was saying, no, Kalaba was about to be fired. That's how Your Excellency, you know me better than that. That can't stick. I think even the PF themselves know. Oh, Kalaba want to mortgage the DP to the PF. The PF was in government, and I didn't mortgage the party when they were in government. How can I now, when they're out of government, ask them to say, come and take over the party? I think that is not, that's not ideal, that's not correct. The only thing that I have done, and I've said on this program, is that this party must grow. This party must rise. And we must be careful not to have presupposed minds of wanting to judge people before you know them. You know, Your Excellency, in my own life, I have now declared that I will never judge you based on somebody else telling me that this is how Excellency Mutubila is. I will not do that. I will have to allow you space to interact with me so that you get to know me and I get to know you.
President Kalaba, the importance of checks and balances cannot be overemphasized. Why is it that in this country, when you see a party growing, you want to weaken it and make the ruling party stronger? Can you unravel, this? I mean, what kind of politics is this?
I mean, these are bad politics. These are politics that have led Africa to be where it is. They have made us as Africans, as Zambia in particular, to fail to rise to the opportunity and occasion. Because when they realize that Democratic Party is the party that is coming with its leader, Harry Kalaba, those in the ruling party will want to begin saying, oh, what do we do? Who can we target? Who can we, they will try and dwarf you. As you said, New Heritage Party is also rising. So they'll say, oh, okay, so how do we go to Madam President there and see how we can bring her down and that kind of thing. But that is not healthy in a democracy. But that as it might be, I can tell you that the challenges that are coming before us are not insurmountable. These challenges will overcome them, and right now, as I can tell you with certainty, that even this challenge is behind us.
As a rider, to that, question, I know, most of the time you don't like talking about other political parties, but I'm talking about your brother, Dr. Mumba. He had a press conference yesterday, and he says he's going to partner with UPND. This is in relation to what I'm talking about. Wouldn't it be good for these individual political parties, to strengthen their existence and their importance, and then act as a party, an organ, which is going to promote checks and balance, then shape complete a paradigm. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I really.
You've never been.
Yeah, maybe help me understand.
Yeah,
this.
you've never been, Your Excellency. But
Yeah.
I can tell you that I read it as well, and I don't know what Dr. Momba is saying. Maybe Your Excellency will give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
The way you have given him an opportunity to come and tell the nation what he means by partnering with the UPND.
Yeah.
The UPND is a ruling government right now.
Yeah.
And there's so many issues for me that the UPND is not doing right. That needs to be checked. And to begin partnering with the UPND at a time such as this, I think for me, is not a very good idea. We had given the UPND 90 days ourselves as DP to settle down, but we keep seeing a lot of issues that are not going right. I was hoping in the 90 days, President Hakainde Hichilema will move to State House. I'm made to understand he's still in Community House. That's an abrogation of the trust of the people of Zambia. And the president must check himself because he might be made to answer for this going forward. Because what has happened is now that the budget for his military regime has been now become heavier. You have now people coming from, because there are two presidential satellite points. It's State House and State Lodge. Those are the 2 points. So he has created a third one, which is a community house. Because where a president stays, that is the place that, Donald Trump in America wanted to do what the president is doing here. And he said he had a better house than the house that, than the White House. And the Americans told him, we have given you this house. This is who we are as Americans. You wanted to represent us. So can you please represent us by being in our house? It is the same with President Hakainde Hichilema. When you are president, you cease to make some of the decisions you make are not personal. And even for the police, this route lining around New Kasama, people have to be stopped going for work. So, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, people have to wait. The president has to pass. Traffic has become exacerbated. I think, even from his own point, I think he should move into State House. And I know from my past experience that when a president moves out of, when he's moving into a new place, I think everything is changed. The bathtub, the beds, everything they change to give the new president a new lease of life. So I think President Hakainde Hichilema must seriously consider moving to State House and give space to the police who have been lining up. I think the rate of crime in this country is rising. We need the police in our communities where the cadres have been banished. So we need them to go there and maintain law and order instead of standing on the streets. I think it's only right that that is done.
Tell me, you worked in government. Why do presidents, do, for lack of a better word, wrong things? Where does the backhand? Is it the president who doesn't want to listen, who wants to exert, his power, or is it the people surrounding, him? Why are people not saying what you're saying now?
Clearly, clearly, I don't know how the UPND is run, and but from what I'm seeing, I think there's very limited consultation that is going on in that house, and well, it is sad. Someone might also tell me, no, but Kalaba, don't talk like that. You also have got two guys in your party who are saying they need you out of the party. But for me, the difference is that for me, I put my cards on the table, and I say, this I don't want. When you're running a party, like I'm a very disciplined person myself, and just like when I was foreign minister, they knew that my do's and don'ts were very clear. They knew that it was important to be disciplined, and if that doesn't go right, even if you're close to me, you are what to me, a wrong is a wrong and a right is a right, and I will stick by what I know is correct, because that is leadership. You have to demonstrate leadership, but others must be in the know why you're doing that. And for me, that's how I am. But I think on President Hichilema, I think something is not just right. Either the communication skills are very weak, or it's the I know it all attitude, because why has it taken 3 months? Why? It's almost 3 months. He has not finished appointing cabinet. 3 months, government is still not complete. He was in opposition for 15 years. The president should have quickly moved in the formation of his own government. It has taken time. And if he can take time on a matter like appointing his government, Dr. Chiluba was elected on the 31st of October 1991. First, I think he was doing his 3rd of November, if my memory serves me right, Your Excellency, he was forming government. On the third, 2-3 days after being elected, he formed government, and he says I'll complete the next day. The next day, again, he called for a press briefing, and he finished. And then he began moving on with other issues.
In his defense, he's saying he wants to be methodical. He wants to depart from the past, and coupled with that, because he had this national mandate, which perhaps he didn't expect, so he wants a national color, to the cabinet, to the administration he puts in place.
And I don't agree with that. This is where we begin thinking that really the issue of tribal politics is just at the back of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your Excellency, if you are good, I don't care which tribe you're coming from. I don't care about the issue of, he's not coming from Luapula, or if I appoint this one because he's coming from Luapula, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
For as long as you can deliver and you meet the criteria, get the job. If the guy from my region or from the other region or from Western or from the other one, from Kwabo does not meet the criteria, but I should still sit and let government work suffer because I'm waiting for somebody to come from that region who's not meeting, I'll not wait for that. I don't buy into that. He has taken time. We can't be waiting for 3 months just to have a permanent secretary in ministries. A permanent secretary is a sub-warrant holder. He is the one who's supposed to be holding funds on behalf of government. We were told before that, no, I've not appointed permanent secretaries because I'm still trying to have auditors go in their offices. My experience, even as a civil servant of 10 years, my experience tells me that whether it's an internal auditor or an external auditor, they can still operate if the person is not even there. In this case, when you form government, the person will vacate office, and then you are going to start auditing properly. Because you are talking about the fight against corruption, forget about it. You're talking about the fight against corruption, just forget about it. I don't think there's anything that is going to come out of this fight against corruption. Why do I say so? I say so because you kept everybody where they should be. You go in your house, you find somebody stealing from you, then you tell them, ku bedroom wifumako. Will you find that guy waiting for you?
No, I'll move things around.
You move things around, and you see this is what. It took 60 days, 70 days to have the Director General at Anti-Corruption, Akuzwayo, to be retired or to be dropped. Some permanent secretaries are still in their offices today, who had very close links with the same PF you're accusing me of mortgaging the DP to.
Yeah.
These things are grave matters. These are grave issues. So, you're talking about the fight against corruption, and yet your approach is cosmetic. I wish you well.
As a patriot, shouldn't you seek audience or write to him and say, look, my brother, we have national interest at heart. I think you're veering dangerously.
In fact, the whole issue here, in fact, I've just touched a few issues here. The whole issue ourselves is that I think in the next 1 month, we'll be writing to the president over our concerns in view of the promises that he had made to government. We'll raise them with him. I have the privilege of talking to President Akainde Hichilema. I hope he'll pick my call when I'll call him that time. I'll discuss with him. And I've discussed with him before. And I liked his attitude when I talked to him. No, my brother, you are free. I mean, if there's anything you want to say, go ahead and do so. I hope that window is still available with the president, and I want to raise it. But the issue here is, when are you moving to State House? That also I'll ask him when I talk to him on phone, but even now I have to ask, you have to move to Nkwazi. You have to. Nkwazi is a house built out of pride of the people of Zambia. It is a house built out of copper. There are only 2 houses that are built out of copper. It is Nkwazi and the house of the Speaker, the National Assembly. Because he is or she is presiding over members of parliament who have been elected across the country. So they have been given the pride of the country, copper. And the president, who's running over our greatest asset is copper, is living in Nkwazi copper. That is who we are. We are copper people.
Is it making the presidency simplistic?
Well, I might be very unfair to say that. I think credit to him, President Hakainde Hichilema has tried to raise the bar.
Okay.
You know, from where it was.
Right.
He has tried. I think the decorum of the presidency is getting back where it should be.
Right.
And I think for us as DP, as we have told you, we will play elevated politics. Where it is due, we'll give it to the president. Congratulations, sir, that you have lifted the bar of the presidency from our own understanding. But when are you moving to Nkwazi?
Yeah.
When are you going to Nkwazi? I think that has to be asked. And then the issue of violence. Today we are voting in 7 elections, Your Excellency. Our campaign manager yesterday was attacked in Mushindam. We had to quickly evacuate him to Chingola to go and be treated. Still hospitalized in Chingola. It is sad. Our vehicle has been smashed. In Mushindam, one of our vehicles has been smashed. Right now parked at Mushindamo Police. In Kaumbwe, our team was attacked by the UPND. They even got their speakers out of the vehicles. In Mwansabombo, my convoy was almost blocked by the UPND cadres. Your Excellency, the President, it will be prudent of you to nip this immediately in the bud before it escalates.
Like was the case in the previous regime.
Like was the case in the previous regime.
Got out of hand.
It got out of hand.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the snowball effect of sin. Begins small, begins growing, begins developing, until it reaches levels that are unimaginable.
Absolutely.
It is important that this is dealt with.
One or two questions before we wind up. You know, I know you've got another interview, the man of the moment.
I've become more popular.
Yes, I was just about to.
You know that leaders are born in a crisis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and how you handle that situation will define you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that leads to my question. You know, it's a long way between now and 2026. How are you going to preoccupy yourself politically as DP?
One, I will tell you that as Democratic Party, I have started going around thanking the people who voted for us, and even here on this radio program, I want to thank the people of Lusaka and those that just voted for us as DP.
Yeah.
They have given us an opportunity to come out number 3 in the past elections. I know they might not have given us the votes we would have desired, but I'm supremely confident that going forward, we will yield more votes going into the 2026 elections.
Brilliant. Did you say there's a is disappeared? Are you going to rebrand? Is this something that you're going to do differently from what you did?
Yes, and as we said, we are restructuring the party, and that's why you are seeing some of these agitations. Yeah. We are rebranding. No, I mean not rebranding. We are restructuring the party. Yeah. We have a new Secretary General of the party. We have a new Deputy Chairperson of the party. All these colleagues have come in because we want to take the party to somewhere else. I don't want to lose elections in 2026. Yeah. I'm too serious for jokes. And so if I see something that is standing in my way as an obstacle, I'd rather deal with it and deal with it precisely so that it's out of my way. We are right now forming branches all across the country. Yeah. After that, we'll be having elections at ward levels. After that, we'll be having elections at constituency levels, district levels, provincial levels, until finally we go to the DNC, which is the highest body of our party. Brilliant. That is what is going to preoccupy us for now.
Natasha?
Yes, thanks, Frank. So I do have a question, and it's clear, you're telling us that you're restructuring, and obviously you have some internal issues going on. But also leadership requires that I think you deal with that. So maybe you can explain to us how you plan as the president of the party to bring people together, because it's clear that now you have factions in your party.
No. Natasha, we don't have factions. That's not true.
Well, that's what we're seeing.
No. They're not factions. I think factions is like when you go to Afghanistan, you have the Talibans on this side, who have also organized the group, and then you have this, they come and host the government which is in place. In our case, we have not had a situation like that. In our case, what we have had is two individuals, only two, who decide to say, no, we don't want Harry Kalaba. And first of all, credit to them as well, because they've not, it's just Harry Kalaba who's their problem.
Yeah.
It's not
DP.
It's not DP.
Yeah.
It's just Harry Kalaba, who they don't want to be their leader. And granted, it's not everybody who voted for Hakainde Hichilema in this country.
Yeah.
So
The 1.8.
yeah, there was 1.8.
Absolutely.
There's 1.8, but he's still president. It's the same.
Yeah.
There are two people who might not have liked me in the executive of our party, not to be. So you can't say, oh, now we are seeing factions. The entire DP is solidly behind my hand, and we are pushing very seriously. We have a serious team. Yesterday you could have seen, Natasha, how the DNC, I was telling you earlier on, how they came from all over the country, traveling all in the night. And I gave them this question, Your Excellency. I said, you know what? I should never be an impediment to the growth of the DP. If I am not the person, colleagues, let me not even take up this mantle. I don't even want to be president if I'm not the right person. Remove me. Let me, even here, if you tell me, no, Harry Kalaba, I think, step aside until we see this issue. They overwhelmingly said, no, 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 no. No, Harry Kalaba, this party is not around.
Right. Finally, I mean, knowing that you are a Christian, the previous regime did commit some horrible, things. But looking at them today, they're still very combative. And there's no acceptance.
They are combative. They are combative
wrong.
because you have kept them in the offices.
Yeah.
For all this time, they are still there. They are combative because they are still living as they were living before. They are combative because you have taken 3 months, 3 solid months, to appoint a single permanent secretary. The work of the president, you are forcing me to break my, I've promised that it's 100 days. But you see, the truth of the matter is, the PF is gone. There's no PF.
Yeah.
And that is why those who are coming here telling you, no, Kalaba wants PF to take over. Look, in the DP, we have said everybody can come. And when former senior members of the PF come to us, we want to do it, and they come Nicodemously. We want to do it in a manner that is befitting them. And you tell the DNC, oh, these are the people who are working with us. But for now, I want you to see them. They have come to me as president. They have presented themselves. But please take note. You can't say because, he wants these people to come. And I'm not going to refuse anybody.
Well, and there were some good ones.
Nobody was bad. Even President Lungu himself, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not everything that President Lungu did that was bad. Not everything President Lungu did was bad. He was tough on the Public Order Act. He was strangling us. We could not breathe. We could not talk. On that one, he was a disaster. But I can tell you that when it came to issues of trying to show that some developments was coming out, though the price was exaggerated, it was there. When it came to making decisions, even wrong decisions that he was making, most of them, President Lungu at least made decisions. Wrong or right, he made decisions. It didn't take 3 months. When he was elected in 2015, he was sworn in at, is it 12 hours? Around 13 hours? He was sworn in, Your Excellency. At 16 hours, I received a messenger from Cabinet with a letter of appointment as Foreign Affairs Minister. 4 hours after he was appointed, I received a letter. Yes, he didn't appoint everybody. It took him 2 weeks. But he had appointed 6 ministers 24 hours after being appointed. 6 ministers were appointed. And he had appointed, I think, about 10 permanent secretaries. Then, when we came back from the African Union, he came and a week later, he came and completed the appointments. So, he showed you that at least was making. But here we have a problem. If you can't see, if you can't say we have a problem of decision making, and indecision at the presidency is a huge impediment.
President Kalaba, thank you, so much, for coming, and all the best.
Your Excellency, thank you for having me, and I see you are struggling. You've got a code?
I got a card, but I have to do this job for this country.
Yes, you are, as I've always said, Your Excellency, you are a patriot.
Yeah.
And we'll continue eulogizing you while you can hear it yourself.
Yeah.
Because I can dare say that we are better off as a country.
Yeah.
Because of individuals like you.
Most appreciated.
God bless you and even yours.
Most appreciated. That was the president of DP, President Harry Kalaba, on the morning show. Our final item coming up, it's the president of Transparency International, Sampaka Lungu, will be coming up. But right now, some music.